1924, no prior permission is necessary. Medical reimbursement will be made as per the approved rate only. CGHS beneficiary has to consult their CGHS dispensary first. Now I'll show you the other headquarters letter on which basis of that letter they issued this letter. So this is the KVS headquarters letter released in 2008. This letter clearly says OPD treatment can be taken directly from the private recognized hospitals under CSMA Rule 1944. No prior permission is necessary. Medical reimbursement will be made as per approved rate only. Can CGHS beneficiary also consult the private recognized hospital directly? No. CGHS beneficiary have to consult the CGHS dispensary first. Now for the plant treatment, you will have to take the permission. And how will you take the permission? So you need two documents for the permission. You will have to take the permission through proper channel from the Deputy Commissioner of the Regional Office, your concerned regional office. So what you will have to do first for the permission, you'll have to write a representation, an application for the addressing to the Deputy Commissioner through proper channel. Through proper channel means you will submit the representation to the to your Vidyalaya principal, and your principal, your Vidyalaya will send your representation to the regional office, and they will process it further. And if they are satisfied with your justification that you have given for the treatment in the private hospital, they may give you the permission for the treatment. So generally in most of the cases we get the permission, but in some cases if they find it that government hospitals are more equipped and more better than the private hospital there, then they may deny for the treatment in the private hospital. So what we'll have to do, you'll have to write a representation explaining your situation and your problem. Accompanying that representation will accompany the your prescription, that OPD prescription, while the doctor diagnosed you for that indoor treatment, plus your diagnostic reports, so like blood test or ultrasound or the X-ray or whatever it is. So all the diagnostic reports as well as your prescription of the doctor in which he has asked you to go for the procedure or take the indoor treatment. Along with these documents, you'll have to write an representation addressing to the Deputy Commissioner, regional office of your concerned regional office. Through proper channel, you will give it to your Vidyalaya, you will submit it to your principal, and your principal will further forward it to the regional office for processing. Regional office will process your case. The Deputy Commissioner will take the decision whether to give permission or not to give permission. And once he has taken the permission, you will receive a order related to that. So someone is asking, are the employees required to pay for availing the Mediclaim facility? So, ma'am, we don't have any Mediclaim facilities till now in KVS. So this is thing I told you about the CGHS. So few employees of headquarter, regional office of metropolitan cities are getting the facility of CGHS. So they have to pay the monthly charges, monthly CGHS charges. But we are not covered under the CGHS. We are covered under CSMA rules, and for CSMA rules, we don't have to pay anything monthly. And so after once you got the permission, you can go and take the treatment. Once the treatment is completed, you will have to send the claim form to the regional office. So I'll also share the claim form with all of you. What claim form is, and you can fill the claim form, and you will have to attach all the original prescriptions, all the original bill of medicine or the things that you purchased, plus all the diagnostic reports in original, and plus your discharge summary. So all these documents you will have to compile and submit it to the principal along with your representation for reimbursement. So once you have received the permission, if you have received the permission, you will get reimbursement at the Vidyalaya level only. You don't, your case will not further your case not will not be forwarded to the regional office. Once if you already have permission, your reimbursement will be at the Vidyalaya level only. So further, in case of emergency, what happens is, emergency rule says if you have any medical emergency, you have to visit nearest hospital. So understand, nearest hospital means any hospital. It may be a government hospital, it may be a private hospital, it may be impaneled private hospital under CGHS, under state government or under CSMA. Any hospital which is nearest from the place of falling ill or from the place of emergency, you'll have to visit that nearest hospital, because while filling up the emergency claim form, you'll have to give the distance from the place of falling ill, from the place of emergency, what was the distance of the nearest government hospital, and what was the distance of the hospital where you have taken the treatment. So as per rules, if you want to do the is right thing is that you must visit the nearest hospital, be it any hospital. Doesn't matter if it is not empaneled, it is a private hospital, you can go there, no problem. But the thing, so somebody asked me for the CSMA list of hospitals covered under CSMA. So it's been long time. Ministry is not publishing list of CSMA impaneled hospital, but there is a list of CGHS impaneled hospital. You can always visit that CGHS impaneled hospital, but the treatment, whatever you are taking during your plan treatment, during your emergency treatment, reimbursement will only be at the CGHS rate only. Yes, if it is good if you are if you have convinced the hospital authorities that you will be reimbursed at the CGHS rate only, and they should charge you at the CGHS rate only, and if the hospital is charging you at the CGHS rate, then there is no problem, you will get full reimbursement. But if hospital is not charging you and at CGHS rate, there is no such order which will bind the private hospitals, even if it is impaneled, there is no such order which will bound the private hospitals to charge you at the CGHS rate, to charge the CSMA covered employees at the CGHS rate. CGHS rates are very less from if you compare it from the private charges. So this is the one of the biggest loss to all of us, all of CSMA covered employees, because government government wants everyone to go to the government hospital for the treatment. But if you are going to the private hospital, then you will have to pay something from your pocket also. So you will not get the full reimbursement even if you have taken the treatment during emergency. Even if you have taken the plant treatment, you may get the permission, but the reimbursement will even your permission letter will have that language in the permission letter that your reimbursement will be made as per CGHS rate only. So you'll get finally you will get reimbursement at CGHS rate only. Whatever your expenses is, doesn't matter. And for this, there is one circular also. For this also, there is a circular. So this circular was published in 2013. I'll just show you, and it clearly says, see, this is a Government of India circular. Circular number and date is also given there. So it clearly says if any employee who is covered under CSMA rules has taken the treatment for him or his family member during emergency condition, he or she would be allowed as per prevailing non-NABH CGHS rates. So you must have seen I showed you the rate list, CGHS rate list. So this is the CGHS rate list. You see where non-NABH, non-NABL as well as NABH, NABL rates. So some hospitals are empaneled as well as NABH also, and some hospitals are empaneled and non-NABH also. So this is NABH and NABL. This is some kind of international recognition of the hospital. We are not going into this, but under this, yeah, but under this we will get reimbursement at non-NABH or non-NABL rates only. So this is what this circular says clearly, that you will get reimbursement at non-NABH rates, which is applicable to the nearest CGHS covered city in case of non-CGHS city. So, for example, in Dharmapuri, like we are staying in Dharmapuri, which is non-CGHS city. So here, if I take any treatment in the private hospital during the emergency, my bills will be reimbursed at non-NABH CGHS rate of the nearest city, nearest CGHS city. So nearest CGHS city from my place is Bangalore. So my bill will be reimbursed at the rate of at the rate of at the rates applicable in Bangalore, at the CGHS rates applicable in Bangalore. So this is how the reimbursement is done. So what happens is, when you submit your bills for reimbursement, so they will regional office will make the comparative list as in what you have spent as well as what is the rate in the CGHS rate list. They will make the comparative list. They will compare whichever is less. They will reimburse that amount. So if CGHS rates are less, which is most common, CGHS rates will always be less. So if CGHS rates are less, they will reimburse CGHS rate only. And if your expenditure is less, for example, if you are staying in any city where medical expenditure is very less, and even it is less than CGHS rate, then you will be reimbursed at your actual expenses. So whatever amount is less, you will be reimbursed with that. So this is about the uh, medical treatment, like OPD treatment. We have cleared it. Then indoor treatment are two kinds of indoor treatment. First one is plant treatment. For all the plant treatment, you will have to take the permission that I want to take a treatment from this hospital, which is nearest to my place, and I am suffering from this and this, and along with the supporting document, you will have to send it to the regional office through your school, through your Vidyalaya. Once you receive the permission, you can take the treatment. Your reimbursement will be made as per CGHS rate only. This is one of the laws for us, but this is at least better than nothing. And for I'm not explaining the CGHS procedure because none of us are covered under the CGHS because CGHS facilities are not available to the teachers. Okay, so next is limit of expenditure. So we have no, ma'am. We don't have cashless treatment, but there is a provision of medical advance. So I'll just show you what is that. So see, this is the Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan headquarter circular about the medical advance. Actually, what happens is, any order which is published by Government of India, KVS being an autonomous body, KVS will adopt that rules and that letter. So KVS has already adopted all the Government of India rules. So here, the Government of India letter dated 17th October 2016, which is adopted by KVS on 13th February 2017 as per the circular date. It says grant of 90% of medical advances for all treatments, IPD. Yani IPD means inpatient department, and OPD outpatient department under CGHS and CSMA rules 1944. So, medical advances, facility of medical advances there. So you can take the medical advance, and if the cost of the treatment is more than 10,000 rupees. So I'll show you the main circular. So here is the circular. So you can take the up to 90%. So when you go for example, you are going for the plant. So for plant treatment, doctor has told someone that you have to go through this procedure, and you'll have to admitted into the hospital. So you will plan your treatment accordingly. So at that point of time, you ask the doctor, sir, what is the expenditure? So he'll tell you that this is the expenditure, or their admin department will tell you this is the expenditure. So they'll prepare and give you one estimated cost of the thing. For example, if someone has taken the estimate of 1 lakh rupees, he may get the medical advance of rupees 90,000, which is directly transferred from the regional office. Okay, so even in case of OPD treatment, if you are taking any OPD treatment also, and the expense is more than 10,000 rupees, then also you can take the medical advance. For OPD treatment also you can take the medical advance. So there is a process of getting medical advance, and definitely you can get that, but there is no facility of getting cashless. I hope this is clear. So, if I am required 10 lakh rupees or 25 lakh rupees or 1 crore rupees, so that doesn't matter. Everything will be reimbursed by the department. So there is no such thing. But if we are going to any private hospital and paying at any rate, we'll only get reimbursement at the CGHS rate. So even if for example, for appendicitis, one of our colleagues takes most of the treatment in the private hospital in Dharmapuri only. So he spent almost 65,000. But since that was a private hospital and they did not charge him at the CGHS rate, he had to spend 65,000 rupees. But as per CGHS rate list and applicable in Tamil Nadu, applicable in nearest city, it is the rate for appendicitis procedure is only 16,200. So he got the reimbursement of that amount. For example, if he would have gone to the CGHS empaneled hospital, he would have charged only 16,000 rupees, 16,200 rupees for the treatment. This is a package rate for appendicitis. Likewise, there's many package rates for different plant treatments, or different treatments. There's a package rate of 16,000 rupees for appendicitis, and also there's a for maternity delivery. There's a package rate for normal 15,000, for cesarean 25,000. So likewise, for different kind of surgeries, different rates are paid. I'm just telling you these rates because I only remember these rates right now. I had to search for these rates for some or the other reason. That's why I remember these rates. So that is why I'm telling you these examples. But there are many package rates for different treatment. If there is no package rate indicated, then you will be charged at your charges will be reimbursed at the rate of different procedures. For blood test, if the rate in CGHS rate list is 400 rupees and you have paid 500 rupees, you will get 400 out of 500. So likewise, this is the way of reimbursement. Further, one more thing I remember, which is must to mention, who is dependent family members. So dependent family members mean your spouse, your children. And if you want to add your parents, as dependent family member, then you'll have to get the dependent certificate from the concerned municipality or the concerned district authorities that your parents are dependent on you. And there's one circular for this also, which clarifies if your parents or anyone is dependent on you, his or her income should not be more than 9,000 rupees as per 7 CPC. As per 6 CPC, it was 3,500 rupees, but now in 7 CPC, it is maximum 9,000 rupees. If your parents are earning more than 9,000 rupees, they are not dependent on you. But if your parents are earning less than 9,000 rupees, then they are dependent on you. But you will have to get the certificate, dependent certificate, as well as their income certificate. If they don't have any income certificate, then you'll have to get it done from the district authority wherever they stay. So once you submit the dependent certificate as well as income certificate in your office, they will be considered as your dependent family member. In-laws, you can, yes. So all the employees, female and male, all the employees, you can add your own parent as dependent as well as your in-laws as dependent family. So you have option of you have option to add anyone. You can, yes, of course, you can add anyone, your in-laws also as well as your own parents. So for all the members, for all the employees, be it male employee or female employee, you can add your own parent as well as your in-laws. Sorry, I have to take this clarification. I'm not sure. This was the rule that I read last. So for females, it is confirmed. You can add your in-laws also as well as your own parents. For males, I have to confirm whether your in-laws are allowed or not. But main dependent family members are your spouse as well as your children. Sometimes people ask that my sister is dependent on me, my brother is dependent on me. So let me clear it. If your brother is more than 25 years, if your brother is more than 25 years, he cannot be your dependent on you. If your parents are not dependent on you, then your brother and sister cannot be dependent upon you. If your parents are dependent upon you, then only your sister or your brother can be dependent on you. So for male dependent family member, the age limit is 25. So if they are more than 25, they are not dependent on you. If and also from the day they start earning, they will not be dependent on you. So if your child is 21 years old or 20 years old and he has started working, he'll no more dependent on you. But in case of girls, they will always be dependent on you until their marriage. Okay. So in case of spouse in which both the members are employees of central government, so sir, in that case, Narendra sir has asked this question. In case of spouse, one is KV employee, another one is central government employee. So both the spouse has to give one declaration every year in their respective office that we will take the medical facility, the LTC facility from I will take this facility from the department of my spouse. So if you and your spouse, you both are central government employees or one is state government employees, so you both have to give one declaration in your own office that I'll be taking medical facility, LTC facility, or XYZ any facility from for me and my family members from my department, or from my spouse department. So you'll have to give the declaration. So you get the option. if your spouse is in pure central government department and they have CGHS facility with them. I'm sorry. So wait. So if they have CGHS facility with them, you can opt for that facility. You can take the facilities from your spouse department. Okay. So admissible claims and non-admissible claim, I already told you. The expenditure on the clerical work, the paperwork in the hospital, and the purchase of disposable items like gloves, masks, etc. will not be reimbursed. Rest everything is reimbursed, but at the CGHS rate only. The other thing is now I'll take the questions. I think it will be better to take the question. It will more. It will clarify more. So please ask questions, whatever you want to ask. If husband is in the private department, definitely he'll be considered as your dependent family. So for spouse, there is no limit. There is no income limit. Even if he is a millionaire or billionaire, it doesn't matter. He'll always be considered dependent on you. So you can always claim each and everything for your spouse and your wards also, for your children's also. I now I would request all of you to kindly please ask questions so that it will clarify each and everything to all the members. बिल्कुल from the day you joined the duty, Mr. Vijender, asking probation period में KVN's indoor treatment ले सकते हैं, बिल्कुल ले सकते हैं. From the day you join the duty, you are a responsibility of KVS, so you can take the indoor and outdoor treatment after you join the KVS. So that is why the medical test is done just before the joining to check if you are medically fit to join the duty or not. So once you joined and immediately after joining, you need to take the treatment. Please, you can go for that indoor or outdoor anything. Wait anything. So please unmute your mics and turn on your camera and ask the questions. See, for dependent parents, two documents are required. First one is dependent certificate. Dependent certificate as well as income certificate. So both the documents you need to take from the district authorities. Sometime it is issued by the DM of the district.
Okay, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
I want to ask, can we take treatment in probation period for dependent, not only me?
Yes, definitely, sir. You can take the treatment for your dependents also during the probation period.
Okay. Oh, and can we take treatment in any PGI or any other recognized government hospital, or we have to take the treatment in our nearby hospital?
Sir, you can take treatment in any other hospital. So this is a bit complicated. That first, where is your dependent family member is staying with you or at your hometown, and if he or she is staying with you, first of all, it is recommended to go to the AMA. Then AMA will refer you to the higher center, and after you go to the higher center will refer you to the other hospital if required. So after that you can go. But if you are taking any treatment from any government hospitals like you said AIMS or PCI, there's no permission required. You can directly go and take treatment. Whatever the expenditure is, it will be reimbursed. Reena ma'am, I'll share the circulars. I'll send it on the WhatsApp in the group. All the circulars that I have collected for the medical purposes, I'll share it. I think you must have most of you have questions. You can ask me. So I cannot teach you, tell you each and everything about the medical rules, but the broader part I have told you. And if you have any case specific issues or doubt, you can ask.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Sir, actually, where we have to submit all these documents for dependent parents in school itself or RO?
In school, ma'am. In school,
school.
it will be kept in your service book and it will be entered in your service book and kept in your personal file always.
Okay, sir.
And
Hmm?
dependent certificate and income certificate. These are valid for a particular period of time. So some state
Okay.
like Haryana issues it. Haryana will issue the dependent certificate for 6 months only. So every
Okay.
6 months you will have to take the dependent certificate in Haryana. But in Delhi it is for 3 years. So every 3 years you'll have to take. So it depends on the state wise. So state wise it is different. So if your state is issuing it for 1 year or 2 years, for in that particular period, after that particular period, you'll have to take another one and submit it.
Okay. So we have to get these certificates from the place we are from, originally.
From the place your parents are or your dependent family members are staying.
Okay. Okay. So it is means a long process, or school will is okay with the this document system.
See, getting the documents, dependent certificate and income certificate, it is your job. You will do it, and after you submit it, it is done. There's nothing to follow. There's no any other process. You just submit it. It will be kept in your personal file. It will be entered in your service book. That is done. Your family members becomes your dependent.
Okay.
After that, so you'll have to deal with your district authorities to get the.
Okay. And I want to thank you. This session is very lot of helpful for me.
Vidyalaya showing details of your dependent family member and like service certificate. We all know service certificate. We take service certificate from the Vidyalaya for different purposes. So for medical, for availing the medical facility, you can take the service certificate from your Vidyalaya, indicating your grade pay, your basic pay, and your dependent family members. So that certificate you can take from your Vidyalaya and you can give it in the impaneled hospital for charging you at the CGHS rate. Is it clear? Is it clear? Hello. So any other question? Where to find our nearest AMA list? Sir, AMA list is you can find it on your you can find AMA list on the net internet. It is sometime most of the time it is available, but if it is not available, you can approach to the your Vidyalaya your Vidyalaya office and you can ask from them. So if you'll ask them, there will be a list of AMA. They will give it. If they have got it approved already, they will share it with you. If, for example, if it is not, they have not got it approved, then you can ask them to get it approved and get it done. तो भूषण सर नमस्कार.
जरा मैं कहीं बाहर निकल गया था, जस्ट अभी पहुंचा हूँ. आज जरा वो कार सर्विस में भूल गया कार पर.
कोई बात नहीं सर. अब ये अभी हम बस फिनिश ही कर रहे थे और
शुरू करो.
नहीं आप फिनिश कर रहे थे सर अब. और अभी मैं बस क्वेश्चंस
Renewable. So renewal is required for dependent certificate and income. Both the certificates or any?
both
the certificates. Okay, renewable.
Depending upon the time to time, you have to get it renewed. Claim there's a limit of time. There's a time limit. So I'll send that circular also. So for any claim that you have taken the treatment, you will have to submit the bills. In normal cases, you'll have to submit the bills within 3 months, and in some exceptional cases, you can submit. So for some reason you could not submit the bill, so maximum it is allowed up to 6 months. So within 6 months, if you have claimed, then it is okay. Otherwise, your claim will be forfeited. You will not get any reimbursement from that.
Okay, thank you.